Morning, everyone. How are you? Give me a moment or two. I'm going to share today's broadcast out. I actually visited the Raleigh, North Carolina area on this weekend, and I stopped by some salons, and I want to talk about a few things. Uh, Goodness, I forgot I had that laundry area door open. I want to talk about some things that I saw over the weekend. Hey, Sojo, how are you, darling? And, the feelings that I was left with after visiting. Good morning, my dear. If you guys, as you're coming on, if you could share the broadcast. Am I on the right? I am. If you could share the broadcast out for me, that would be super. Hey, everyone, how are you? I'm attempting to share as well. And then we're going to get rocking and rolling. DM, they're flashing so fast on Periscope. Hey guys, how are you? So, you guys see in the title, I have, what does your salon business mean to you? And I'm going somewhere with this. I actually visited the Raleigh, North Carolina area over the weekend, and I stopped in some salons, and I also had like some conversations with some salon owners, not just in the Raleigh area, but people contacting me on social media. And I was just left with this feeling that I want to share. And then I want to share some advice for you from a perspective of someone who owned the salon for 10 years, who's been licensed in the industry for over 25 years, and who has gratefully had an opportunity to work with some really amazing mentors and also hear their perspective about the industry. One of the big things that really stood out for me with the industry, more so than anything else, give me just a moment, guys. Let me see. Is that how you turn it around? Okay, it is. And then I'm going live on Instagram. Quick introduction. So I was in the Raleigh area this weekend, actually on a little staycay with family. So I took my daughter to the state fair in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hey, Chris, it's your first day on Periscope. Welcome. Uh, okay. And I said, okay, I'm here. Let me go out and connect with some salon owners in the area. I'm actually hosting an event in the Raleigh area next weekend. It's called Maximize Live, and it's October the 21st. For those of you who you've been sitting on the fence for whatever reason, I am not certain about joining me. You can go to renewfullcircle.com/maximize, renewfullcircle.com/maximize. This event is for salon owners who know they want more. And, when I was visiting the Raleigh area over the weekend, hey, Shanta, how are you, dear? I didn't really get the sense that, salon owners wanted more. Now, we can't just clump everybody into one category, but the vibe was pretty much the same, except for maybe a few salons that I stopped by. And I was wondering, I was like, well, what does the salon business mean to salon owners? And I want to share one of the biggest things that I feel we take for granted in the industry. And I think it's because, one, we get money, daily. To, if you really grind, you could go out and get more clients, things of that nature. But this one thing is huge that I feel we take for granted. And I'm going to talk about that one today in a way that my entire goal, two goals, for those of you who are in the Raleigh and surrounding areas, or plane, train, automobile, this is what you need. One of my goals for this particular broadcast is to share things with you that I see so that you understand the power in getting some help, right? That's one thing. And the second, for those of you who are not in the Raleigh area, or are unable to make it, I want to leave you with some things to really think about, right? I'm going to do a quick introduction before I get started. If you're on with me, please share the broadcast out to another salon owner who could use the information. This is coming from just years of experience and, where I'm at this stage and where I see many salon owners are in their stage of the business too. So proud of you. Good morning. Thank you for joining. A quick introduction. I'm Tanya Wilson-Cherry, beauty business consultant and certified life coach. I have a 24 plus year background in the most amazing industry on the planet. However, I don't think we maximize it the way that we should. I'm going to talk about that on this morning. And 10 years as a former salon owner. I work from a transformational space. I focus on mindset, personal development, and business building because I know that all of those things are needed if you're going to grow something amazing. I remember when my early years of being a stylist prior to salon ownership, I remember a conversation with my mentor. It was just like some words that she dropped into the air. She said, your clientele is a reflection of who you are. Now, at this time, I was probably in a space mentally that I find a lot of salon owners and stylists are in. And that's a space of kind of taking things for granted. So I heard what she said, but because I didn't walk in a level of awareness and I didn't fully understand, I kind of took what she said for granted until years later, I realized that although I was doing a lot of people, I was also having to kind of chase people. So my clients weren't they were consistently scheduling, but they weren't consistently showing up for their appointments. And she began, that little phrase that she said to me, your clientele is a reflection of who you are. It rang in my head some years later. And I began to assess my business. I began to assess my life. I began to assess even my clients, not necessarily, hey, Miss Rhonda, how are you, darling? Like, their money or their clout, anything of that nature, but just morally, from a personal development phase. So a lot of times at that time, I was doing a lot of partying, right? So I was clubbing and party. If it was Thursday through Sunday and something that was up my alley was going on, I was clubbing. And so that was the place that I was passing out, my business cards. And so many of my clients, they were hanging out as well. And so they may have an appointment with me and kind of take it for granted and not show up. And then I realized, I was like, hey, what I'm doing as far as hair is really the foundational thing for my life. Y'all don't hear me. Like your position in the industry as a stylist or a salon owner, for many of you, it's how you eat. It's how you pay bills. It determines the quality of life that you have, right? And so I think a lot of times because the industry that we're in is one that gravitates people who are really passionate about it, I think we sometimes fail to realize that it's the thing that determines whether we eat steak or Roman numeral. I can't even say the, y'all know what oodles and noodles, right? You guys hear me? And so I began to assess, myself and my clientele, and I realized that I needed consistency in my life. And I think we take our industry for granted because you can kind of fall off from the industry. And if you grind a little bit, you can pick back up. How many of you all know that's true? Tap the screen for hearts. You can kind of fall off in the industry and then you can just kind of pick back up. You can grind a little bit, find out some new strategies, and get a new wave of clients and start again. But my question is, who wants to continue starting over? Who wants to continue like the downfall and then the grind again and then it gets good again? I mean, for me, there's no comfort in any of that. And so I asked the question, what does your salon business mean to you? Because I feel not everybody in the industry, But a high percentage of people in the industry take their position or their salon business for granted. They take it for granted, right? So your salon career or your salon business is the thing that dictates the quality of life that you get to live. It's not like all this other stuff. My Desiree, how are you? Thank you for joining. Shanti says, not me. So why is it, if your career is the thing that dictates a huge portion of the quality of your life, why do we take it for granted? Why do we take it for granted? And I'm going to show you how we take it for granted. We get really, really comfortable. We get really comfortable. I've had numerous salon owners over the last maybe 4 to 6 months this year share with me that they had no desire to come from behind the chair right now. They absolutely love what they do as a stylist. And so visiting a plan or strategy or an exit strategy was not something that they were ready for in this season. And this is why I say, what does your salon business mean to you? And I want to clear up some of the stuff that I think has us, just kind of sitting and waiting. One, remember I said it's so easy like to kind of fall off in the industry, get your grind on and pick back up again. But who wants to keep stopping? Who wants to go through the grind season again? Now, I do believe that as you move to new levels, you have to do different things, but it doesn't mean that you're falling off in between each level. You guys get that, right? So even if you're not planning on coming from behind the chair as a salon owner, say you own your salon, right? Even if you're not planning on coming from behind your chair, you love doing hair. I get it. I still enjoy doing hair, although I consult full time now. Even if you're not planning on coming from behind the chair right now, you need a strategy. You need a strategy to come from behind the chair if you just started. Somebody who understands, Ms. Rhonda, tap the screen, baby. Help them to understand that planning to come from behind the chair is not something that you do overnight. It's not. And I hear a lot of people saying, I'm not, I love doing hair. I get that. But at some point, when you're 70 years old, I promise you, hair is not going to be what you desire to do. Now, ironically, I saw a lady who was like 100 years old. I don't know if you guys saw that video floating on Facebook, but she was still doing hair. I thought it was absolutely amazing. But how many of you know that that is not the case for the majority of people in the industry? In all honesty, around their 15th year or their 10th year, depending on when they started. So maybe when they start rolling into that 40 stage, it gets old. It gets old. And not that you don't love your clients, not that you don't enjoy doing hair, but the fact that you're tied to the chair, the fact that you're obligated to be behind the chair is what gets old. So it's different if you're still working behind the chair and you don't have to. You're not depending on that to cover your bills, after you've been in the industry for quite some time. But if it's something that you are required to do and you've been in this industry, 10, 15, going on 20 years, you should have an exit strategy that you're actually working on right now. Now, some of you may have been really, really smart. And as soon as you started your career, you began things like an IRA account, saving for retirement. But how many of y'all know that's not for the majority of those behind the chair? That is not the case. It's far from the truth of what is actually happening, in our industry. And when I think because we think so much in the moment, And a lot of times that comes from the fact that we are in a state of what I call survival mode. So what survival mode does is it doesn't allow you to see past your right now, right? You kind of only focusing on what you have going on right now. So you can't really see any further out into the future until you get there and you're like, what am I going to do next? I'm no longer feeling being obligated to be behind the chair. And so one of the things that I think we take for granted, I shared with you guys in the beginning, I was going to share the one thing I feel so many of us take for granted, and not even just in the industry, but because we're talking about the industry, it's so prominent, but time. We take time for granted. And year after year after year after year, it all starts to look the same and feel the same. And then people burn out and they lose their passion for the industry because what they're doing is not producing. Miss Rhonda says that was definitely me, survival mode. Listen, if you guys don't do anything else, listen to people who have gone before you. Listen to people who've done, even if they're only 2 or 3 steps ahead of you, listen to them. Take some time, go to a stylist. This is something I challenge you guys to do. Go to a stylist who's been in the industry for a long time, who's like still so obligated to the chair, a salon owner, right? And ask them how they feel about their position, right? If they're honest with you, they will tell you they wish they did things differently earlier. So it doesn't mean that you can't still do hair and you can't love what you're doing, but the strategies that you're working on now need to be connected to how you're going to finish. And so this is when I talk about vision clarity all the time, because your vision is always a lot further out than where you are now, right? And how you build the business is you reverse engineer the vision, which may be how you're going to exit from behind the chair. And everything you do daily collectively gets you to that point, even if it's doing hair. So when all of you, if you haven't thought about it, you're going to come from behind that chair. You're either going to bow out gracefully or you're going to go into another field or something else that you don't even love, right? But you're going to come from behind the chair eventually, right? Or I mean, the lady I saw who was 100 years old still doing hair, that was a first, for me. One thing I know about a lot of the stylists or salon owners who came before us, I've been in the industry 25 years, they bought houses, they saved money, they did things differently from the way we do things. But because of how we're doing things now, it's important that you guys begin working on strategies that eventually are going to allow you to come from behind the chair. So remember I said everybody's going to come from behind the chair, but is it going to be in a way where you can afford, your responsibilities and what you have going on? Or are you going to have to like completely stop living because you're so limited with finances? Guys, it takes about 3 to 5 years for the average person to transition from behind the chair. And that's normally not even transitioning into I'm not working at all, right? The 3 to 5 years to transition is normally to transition into a different role or to operate in a different space still within the industry. Thank you for inviting your followers, Ms. Rhonda. I appreciate it. It's normally to play another role in the industry. But there's a lady who owned a salon, up the street from me. When she started beauty school, she might have been close to 30, right? So I feel that a lot of times people who start in their 30s, Ms. Rhonda said 5 years, a lot of people who start in their 30s, sometimes they have a different perspective when they start. So they already know what the industry is going to do for their lifestyle. And so when I say, what does your salon business mean to you? I want you guys to understand that how you build your business is how you dictate the quality of life that you live, right? And I see people who are just waiting, just like, I don't understand what they're waiting on, because nothing is going to change until you do. Nothing about what you're doing behind the chair. You know, sometimes, and as a believer, it really breaks my heart, because a lot of times we say, I'm waiting on God. And I don't get it. I get it, but I don't get it. Because faith without works is dead, right? And so, yes, we will have favor. You know, things will happen. We'll get lucky breaks. You know, we'll be able to get past different means of adversity. But that's like hit or miss. It's like hit or miss. So instead of spending the time learning to earn more or learning to earn in better ways, we spend the majority of our time crying and begging God to fix things that He's already made available for us. You guys get that? Like, I really feel, and I'm really passionate about this morning, probably because I came from behind the computer and I actually visited salons. Little things to me, like, I could see clients walking in who never ever been to establishments, who weren't being greeted by anyone in the staff because everybody was doing hair. Um, you know, it's just like perspective. I think because 9 times out of 10, when we take ownership, when we move from hairstylist to salon owner, we've been in the hairstylist position for so long, we still take that same mindset and those same habits with us into our salon business. Because as a single stylist, you're really just focusing on your customers, right? But when you own an entire salon, if you're the salon owner, you're the leader, right? So whatever is going wrong, and this was a hard lesson for me when I, owned a salon. Anything that was going wrong in my establishment, I had to realize that it started with me. It wasn't the economy, it wasn't the staff, it was me. So many people are frustrated about not having staff or not having renters or even hiring the wrong staff or renters. That's a leadership issue. It's a leadership issue, right? Because there's no lack of great staff and there's no lack of great renters, but they want to come and work in a great salon. They want to come and work in a great salon, right? And so oftentimes when, and this is a hard part, because I had to get over this slump too. If you ever have a bad run with booth renters or staff, it can be disheartening. You can take on the mindset of, you know what, I know how to get customers, I got a full clientele, I'm just gonna grind, I can pay the bills. But when you look at it, right, I'm picking my pen up because I want to just act like I'm doing the math with you, right? If you aren't going to maximize your salon as a salon owner, if you're not going to maximize it, why would you go through the stress of having to pay all the extra bills? That's affecting your quality of life. Like, why? Doesn't make sense. And so, guys, we got to stay in a space of awareness. I feel, and this really hit me when I was visiting salons in Raleigh, we've gotten comfortable. Every other establishment that I went in over the weekend had someone either greeting you, waiting on you. But for our industry, unfortunately, culturally, that's not what goes on. The stylist, the salon owner is usually hollering to the person at the door from behind her chair, can I help you? Now, I understand that early in your business, being able to afford an assistant or front desk help, it may not be in the numbers. I get that, right? But if you have a vision, most people don't have vision clarity. Vision clarity is when we're clear on where it is we want our salon to go. If you have a vision, then the things that you are doing daily are working towards the things that are going to take you to the vision, right? And so a lot of times we think about what is transpiring. So I'm finding that many salon owners are really focused on just being able to pay their bills. If that's the case, why own a salon? Like, there's opportunity for retail, there's opportunity for new staff, there's opportunity for you to even have a personal brand that allows you to create additional income and not work as hard behind the chair. So if you aren't going to operate as the champion that you are, right? If you're not going to operate at the highest version of yourself, why suffer with all of the overhead? Like, you could rent a booth or a salon suite if you're not going to function and operate as the leader that is required to run a successful business. We're leaving money on the table. See, when you don't have like help, basically, when you don't have help, you don't even see the money that you're missing. Right? So we just go to work and we continue to do this routine thing, and we say to ourselves, oh, things will get better. But they don't change unless you do something different, guys. I saw that our industry was like really comfortable, like real comfortable, like, hey, can I help you? Type thing. So if you had a true vision, then what you're doing, you'd be able to look at you would know, okay, eventually I'm going to need an assistant. I need some renters. I need staff. What type of recruitment strategy am I going to put in place in order to make this do what it needs to do so that I can really be the visionary of my place? You got to switch from the mindset of a stylist to that of a salon owner. And if you're wanting something amazing, because most of us, yeah, tap the screen if you want something amazing. Tap the screen if you want something. Most of us want something amazing, something that's going to allow us to create a lifestyle that we love. And, different people have different desires and needs, different definitions of what they love means to them, right? But you got to ask yourself, is what I'm doing creating that? Is what I'm doing daily creating that, especially as the salon owner? And so when we're looking for great renters and great staff, they want to come and work at a great place. 9 times out of 10, whether or not they're a booth renter or employee, they come to work for places that they feel they can glean from the leader or the salon owner, right? And so if your energy that you have in the place is, I'm just going to do my clients and go home, then that's the same thing that's going to happen to the people who come to work there. And eventually they leave because they're not really growing, right? They may be watching you and feel as if you're growing, but they're not really growing. And so I just wanted to ask the question, like, what does your salon business really mean to you? And do you understand that your business is what's going to dictate the quality of life that you get to live, the opportunities that you get to provide for your family? And so I don't want to see so many of you work 12 to 14 hours just to pay the bills. Right? Because we can rent a booth, we can rent a salon suite, do our clients and go home. The title of salon ownership is not nearly as important as your quality of life, right? And this broadcast is for those of you who I know are champions, right? This is for those of you who may have allowed your dreams in salon ownership to lie dormant. So maybe you do need staff, and every now and then you'll post, something on social media. We have booths available, or some people say hiring new stylists, booth available, but you got to know that if you're renting a booth, then you're not hiring the stylist. So there's a lack of information even in how we're marketing, right? And so it could be confusing someone who knows they want to rent a booth when they see the word hiring, booths for rent, They may be thinking, I don't want to go in a space where I feel like I'm an employee when I'm actually an independent contractor. So one, the verbiage sometimes that we're even using, but how many of you have an actual recruitment strategy? Something that's ongoing for your salon business, right? And so until you really, really settle in your heart and mind, hey, Miss Vicky, how are you, dear? Just how important and valuable your salon business is to your growth, you'll continue to get the same results because you'll continue to do the same things. Oftentimes, it's just lack of information. I remember, when I first started hiring, because I was a commissioned salon, when I first started hiring, I was saying things like, man, the new stylists, they just don't want to work, or, they don't have the drive or the energy that I'm looking for the salon. And it wasn't that. I was hiring wrong. You guys hear me? I had to learn to hire differently, right? And this is where I'm going to come on 5 days this week. I'm doing a marathon, and I'm going to be talking about salon ownership over the next 5 days. So today I wanted to talk mostly about, really being too comfortable. I think we've gotten too comfortable. We take so much for granted. Every year is, I'll do it next year. I don't need the information right now, but I'm actually working and only able to just pay my bills and do a little something. If that's the case, you need new information now, right? Remember I said, even if you're a salon owner and you still enjoy doing hair, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But sometimes if you're operating in that space, you forget to hire. You forget to get renters. You forget to make that a focal point for growing your business. And then you become burned out. Y'all don't hear me. And then you lose your passion, because what you initially started the business for, which is most often, whether we can articulate it or not, most of us start our business to accumulate more time freedom and more financial freedom. And that's not really what I'm seeing. Now, there are people who have a strategy that they're working on, and you can see it shifting for them. They're not as obligated to the chair. They still work it because they love it. They have time for family. They have more money and revenue and income than they had coming in before, because they have this plan and they know that they're eventually going to be able to transition because they can see the plan working. But when I hear salon owners say, I really love to do hair, that's fine, right? But what are you going to do to really operate in the position of a salon owner where you have some other revenue coming in, where if you're sick or you take a vacation or whatever? Guys, I realized in my 15th year, this was over 10 years ago, that I probably had only had somewhere between 5 to 10 Saturdays off in 15 years, right? That weren't related to, maybe my daughter not feeling well, or me going to some type of educational class. I didn't have just a free Saturday. How many of you can relate? If you come back on the broadcast and you can relate to that, put me in the comments. And so I ask you again, what does your salon business mean to you? So one of the things that I'm focusing heavily on as I begin my Maximize Live event is this Sunday, October the 21st in Raleigh, North Carolina, is to help people get clear on their vision. And for some people that don't have one, they will leave with one, right? Some people's vision just needs to be tweaked, made aware of, but not only getting clear on the vision, but giving you strategies and examples that let you know that that thing that you desire is really possible. We're going to be focusing on a recruitment strategy. That means it's ongoing, right? It's not hit or miss. It's not, oh, you know what, the bills are over my head, I need to start looking for renters again, right? It's about being proactive. That's what a business owner is. I was looking at, trying to think. So my daughter and I and one of her friends, Hey Bear, went to Macy's over the weekend. And I began seeing like advertisements and just kind of watching different things around the mall. And I said, how many people think that, Macy's and Nordstrom's and all of those places, or wherever it is, Z Gallery, wherever, how many people think that they sit home over the weekend and say, oh, I'm going to market that tomorrow? How many of you think that that's how, they operate their business? Or do you think they actually sit down before the year ever even comes in and have a plan for what they're going to do? That's how they do it, guys. There's no way they could get all of the things out that they get out to consumers because they just decided today that they're going to do it tomorrow. Now, there are times in our business, key 5411, there are times in our business where we get inspired and we do things out of inspiration. We were inspired to do things. But if you run your entire business like that, you spend the majority of your time putting out fires instead of producing more income and more revenue, which allows you to create the lifestyle that you love. So if you feel that you've gotten comfortable and you're a salon owner, you got maybe one renter, you got like 3-4 chairs, or you don't even have any renters or staff, I invite you to come to Maximize Live this Sunday, October the 21st in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'll be working with 10 stylists in a VIP power hour where I can work with them on a more individual basis. And then the actual event is from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's only $97 for the premium tickets and $175 for VIP. The value that you get to be able to leave and make this last quarter of the year and 2019 one that you have a plan. You're clear. You're not just deciding what you're going to market day to day. All of that is a time waster, right? When you begin to get clear on your vision, it dictates what classes you take. So for many of you who feel like you've taken classes and you've wasted your money, that's not even what you want to do. If you're clear on your vision, if you have vision clarity, you won't waste nearly as much money taking classes because you know where you're heading and you'll know what you need when you see it. So it won't be all of these random things that you're dedicating your time and your energy to that aren't going to get you to where it is you desire to be. I know our industry has gotten really comfortable, like the professionalism. If some of you would just tweak your professionalism in your salon a notch, you would see a significant difference in your income and in your profits. And it's easy because we're in the industry, we laugh, we joke, we have a great time. And you can still build a culture that's fun, that you have a good time, you laugh and enjoy your clients. But the foundation of your business is one that you can grow on. Because we can't grow on laughs or hee and ha. We can't grow on that, right? There's got to be a plan and you've got to be clear. And for many of you, you got to know that if you think that transitioning from behind the chair, because we're going to talk about creating an exit strategy at the Maximize Live event. And if your idea was, oh, I'm going to probably work about 5 more years, and you don't have a plan, because you're going to need to know, so whatever it is you make a year, how are you going to replace that? And it's not something, now I'm not saying that the impossible can't happen. You can't run up on something amazing. One thing I do know is you can increase your income quickly. Somebody tap the screen. If you understand what I'm saying, you can increase your income quickly. I work with clients all the time who do amazing shifts in sometimes 90 days, 30 days, 3 weeks, right? So you can increase your income quickly, but we're talking about replacing income that you're going to need years and years and years to come. And when you get in a position where you're no longer operating your salon as a hairstylist, you become the visionary, and the time that you don't think you have to work on your business it becomes available. But for those of you who are waiting or taking that time for granted, I'm just here to share that it's not an overnight thing if you're going to exit. And this is why many people in the industry, when they do exit, they actually exit into a whole nother industry. They go back to school, they take out student loans, and they start a whole new career after having invested time and energy into something for 20 some years or more, because they are not certain of how to evolve, rebrand, reinvent themselves right within the industry, right? And that usually comes with a plan, guys. Comes with a plan. So I'll be back on 4 more days this week. It is my 5-day marathon. I come on monthly. I'll broadcast, 5 days in a row, talking about any given topic. And for this week, I'm talking about salon ownership and what it actually looks like to create a successful salon, one that you're not frustrated by, one that is operating off of systems, one that you're looking at your profits. You have a profit strategy. Many salon owners, they don't have a strategy for their profits either. They're like, I'm going to throw a hair show this year or whatever event they want to do, but they haven't looked at the numbers, right? They haven't looked at how much it's going to cost, how much is it going to earn? What is the return on the investment? And you can think of ROI as in a return on investment on your time. It's the one thing we can't get back, guys. It's the one thing we can't get back. My mentor and I were on a conversation years ago, and it really shifted the reason why I felt it was important to teach and share in the industry. Hey, Sarah, how are you, dear? She shared with me that many salon owners, salon professionals lose their families to the industry, meaning they don't have the time, right, to invest in their children or their spouse or even their own self-care. Many stylists and salon owners lose their families to the industry. And it's because we have not created systems and strategies that allow us to comfortably work in the industry without being overwhelmed or feeling tied to the chair. You got to look at your numbers. You got to look at where it is you want to see yourself 5, 10, even 20 years from now. So even if you're just starting in the industry, you need a plan. So it's not to say that you can't work behind the chair your entire career and retire comfortably, but you have to have like an IRA, be putting some money up somewhere. That's a plan. That's a plan. But I think because we get clients all the time, we get paid in cash often, we kind of take it for granted. It's easy, really, really easy, guys, to get comfortable. And a lot of times, especially as salon owners, we get comfortable because we really don't have anyone else to answer to. But in actuality, we do, right? We're answering to our quality of life. We're answering to our peace of mind. I don't hear me. We're answering to the community. We're answering to those who come and work with us. So we may not have someone that physically is telling us, you really need a recruitment strategy. You need to have these chairs filled. You need to be creating more income. We don't have anyone like physically standing over us saying those things, right? But we do have people that we're answering to, whether we know it or not. And most of all, guys, you're answering to your own life, to your own quality of life. And so I wanted to spark your hearts, hopefully prick your hearts, to not take time for granted. Even if you're not ready to come from behind the chair today, you got to have a plan. What you're doing today is a picture of what you're going to be doing 5 years from now. Somebody tap the screen. What you're doing today is a picture of what you're going to be doing 5 years from now, unless you have a strategy that you're implementing and working on to take you to a different level. If you guys think back on it, any situation that you may be in right now, let's say credit. Let's say that, right? That was a series of things that happened over time, whether it's good credit or bad credit. It was a series of habits that created whatever the credit situation is for you now. Most of the time, it wasn't an overnight thing. Now, for some, you may have experienced divorce, or um, maybe you did ball out and spend all of it at one time. But it's a collective thing, some things that happen over years, right? So I said you can increase your income like that. You can shift and grind and get a new strategy and start earning more money easily. But coming from behind the chair to become the visionary of your space, many of you will find so much value in being able to get your visions and your goals and your plans out of your head and into your salon, seeing it profit, really operating from a leadership position. And so my question today is, have you gotten comfortable? Have you gotten comfortable? And for some, it may not be that you got comfortable. It simply may be that you didn't know how to do it differently. And if that's you, whether you've gotten comfortable or you just didn't know how to do it differently, I invite you to join me at my Maximize Live event. I'm going to show you ways to maximize things that are already in your hand, right? I'm going to share a major recruitment strategy with you for recruiting new staff and renters that's ongoing, right? Because we know the chances of someone staying with you forever as a renter or a salon owner are slim. They're slim. But if you have a reoccurring recruitment strategy going on, right, then you can consistently be growing and having people attracted to coming to work with you, all the time. And so it's not these phases where, okay, my money is a little low, let me fill these chairs. I really need to fill these. It's an ongoing thing. It's consistent. And then we're also going to talk about an exit strategy. Those are three things. Your vision. We're going to talk about vision clarity and getting really clear on what it is you really want your salon to do. And then I'll be there to help you, give you advice and strategies, results-driven strategies that work, that will help you implement them. We're going to talk about vision clarity. We're going to talk about a recruitment strategy, because if you're a salon owner, you need staff or renters, right? Unless you want to continue paying excess overhead that's unnecessary, right? Like, remember I said, it makes no sense. Like, rent a booth. Go rent a booth, rent a salon suite, right? And then have your extra money to be able to up level the quality of life that you have. If you're not going to align fully with, the salon ownership position and maximize your efforts so that you work smarter and not harder, then it's just as easy to just rent a booth. I just don't want to see you guys wasting time, because if you look back on it, so if you've been a year or 2 years without a renter or an employee, take the amount of money each chair that you could have made and multiply it by the number of years that those chairs have been empty. That's one way to see how you're leaving money on the table, right? And then think about how that money that you figured out, you do your own numbers, would have improved the quality of your life. Maybe it was some things that you wanted for your children that you were unable to do. Maximize, right? As opposed to being in the mindset of just a hairstylist. So I invite you guys, renewfullcircle.com/maximize, renewfullcircle.com/maximize this Sunday in Raleigh, North Carolina. If you're in and around Raleigh, or we have planes, trains, and automobiles, if you know that this is information that you need and you're really ready to invest in yourself to get the information. So some of you, it's not because you've gotten comfortable, you just simply don't know what to do, right? You've done everything that you know to do. And whenever we've come to the end of the road or our own road, it's normally because we've done everything we know to do. And so what we do is we continue to repeat patterns and get the same results until we invest in ourselves to learn it differently. So if that's you, or you just want to go to your next level, this is for salon owners who want more, right? And not everybody wants to create something greater. But for those of you who do, I invite you to join me this Sunday, October the 21st, in Raleigh, North Carolina, talking about vision clarity, a recruitment strategy, and developing an exit strategy, whether you want to come from behind the chair today or 5, 10, 15 years from now. It's important. Deb Harris says, I want greater. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So guys, that's my take. renewfullcircle.com/maximize, renewfullcircle.com/maximize. Do you guys have any questions for me? And I know today I'm a little more hyped probably than I normally am, but probably because I went into salons, you're welcome, dear, and I saw this lull, like I'm here, but I don't really want to be here type thing, right? I just saw this comfort zone that I just don't feel was great for building a really great business, one that is going to allow you to create a lifestyle that you love and provide opportunities for your family. There was this comfort zone that they were in. And guys, if it's not growing, it's two things. It's either going to grow or it's dying. One of the two, right? Over time, it's either going to grow or is dying. And I know that you guys have, so much experience and expertise that can really be used to profit more in your industry and create a lifestyle that you love. So your salon business, remember, your business is what creates your quality of life. Your business is what creates your quality of life. And so if you don't invest in your business, if you don't invest in getting the information that you need, then the anticipation for it to grow, like, it kind of makes no sense, guys, right? So I'm here, to shift the atmosphere on this morning and to challenge you to get out of your comfort zone and to let you know the one thing we waste in the industry is time. We take it for granted, guys. We can't get it back. And the years, they will roll by. I'm like, man, I've been in the industry 25 years. They will continue to roll on and on and on. And we'll continue to get the same results and then wonder why we're burned out. We start saying the industry is slow. It's a lot of YouTube, a lot of stylists on YouTube. There are a lot of non-licensed stylists, and all of those things are true. But when we're not operating at the highest version of ourselves, it tends to be something that we focus on. It tends to be something we say out of our emotions, simply because we're not fully aligned with what it takes, to create the salon business that we love. Deb Harris says, you are a godsend. I needed to hear this. Oh, awesome. For those of you who like to reach me outside of social media, you can go to bit.ly/buildwithtanya, bit.ly/buildwithtanya. I offer complimentary SOAR calls. I help my clients do amazing things in their business. My clients are getting amazing results, going from 600 square feet salons to 2,000 square feet salons, ready to begin working on second locations, working for nonprofit organizations with their skill set. The organizations are paying them, getting sponsorships from major conglomerates and businesses, household names that you guys are hearing about. They're really doing amazing things. And it's because we got really, really clear on what they desire. I help them to see that what they desired was possible, because many of you have dreams that you may feel are too big, right? Fight for Healthy Hair, thank you for joining. You may feel are too big. And you just need someone who can help you see that those things are possible, right? That there are actually strategies that will help you to get there, to become, well, I hate to say a six-figure earner, because whatever it is you need for your lifestyle and your family, it's possible. We're in a billion-dollar industry. It's full of possibilities. Many of you have been in the industry for quite some time, and the way you started out in the industry is not necessarily how you want to end up. It's not where you are right now, right? And so you need to rebrand and reinvent, and it's okay to do that, because you are your brand. So whatever you, when you're feeling burned out, it rolls over to your clients. It rolls over into the atmosphere. And burnout normally comes from us not knowing what to do next, right? So for those of you who need help, two ways. Meet me in Raleigh, North Carolina, October the 21st, this Sunday. renewfullcircle.com/maximize if you're a salon owner or even an aspiring salon owner. This information will be invaluable to you and help you to soar once you open your doors. But if you're currently an aspiring salon owner, meet me in Raleigh, North Carolina, October 21st, renewfullcircle.com/maximize. You guys have a super, super amazing day. I'll be back on tomorrow. I have 5 things to share with you this week about salon ownership. And they're going to be good. They're really going to be good. It's going to help you shift and set new goals for the last quarter and for 2019. It's going to allow you to think about where you are and where it is that you really desire to be, okay? And if that's actually what's going down. You guys have a super, super amazing day. It's not too late. If you gain value from the broadcast, please share it out. If you enjoyed, tap the screen for hearts. Show your girl a little love. I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.